Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. So here we go again. HBOmax. For those of you who have AT&T TV, like I do, it comes with a device. They send it to you. You have to sign a contract. Um, there is HDR compression. They do have UHD color pass-through, which gives you the ability to pass through the HDR even on a non-4K content, even on a 1080p content. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm testing HBOmax, Ad&tTV, Brad Pitt movie here. And I'm going to show you a little demo just to kind of showcase how beautiful it looks, even with a 1080p HDR. We have to remember this is 1080p upscaled to 4K. So you're getting a 1080p source that's being upscaled to 4K, and then on top of that you got the HDR compression, the HDR pass-through. I want to clarify one simple thing here, guys. HDR can work on any resolution. For you to enjoy HDR, you don't necessarily need 4K. You can enjoy HDR on any resolution. So HDR will work wherever there is a UHD color being passed through with that metadata. Okay, and here obviously you can see it looks pretty good actually. It looks pretty good on HBOmax right here on Ad&tTV. I don't know how much of this I can show you, but clearly, as you can see right here, it looks pretty darn good. All right, so let's pause it. I'm gonna pause it. Let's exit. Let's try something else. Let's go to maybe. Let me see. We can go to Sherlock Holmes. You will see Sherlock Holmes will look great as well. So what I'm trying to say, for those of you who have HDR pass-through, I think you will enjoy HBOmax much better through this HDR pass-through than what you normally would get on your regular standalone PlayStation, Xbox, HBOmax app. So it just looks better. I mean, clearly you guys can see it here that it looks better. And I'm trying to do my best to give you guys that nice viewing angle to showcase that. You know, maybe we can go and check one more movie. Maybe we can check Jaws. People say, how do we know that it's HDR? Well, I'll show you that it's HDR. And you're gonna have to have, obviously, you're gonna need AT&T TV device. Okay, that's what I'm using here currently. All right, you're gonna need that. Okay, that's what I have here, and that's what I'm using, obviously, right here. So you are going to need that. But I know you guys gonna ask, well, how does this work? Well, it's fairly simple, fairly simple. It works on the same principle the way your Apple TV does. It gives that metadata HDR compression. It's always there. Okay, so it's always turned on. See, I'm using my user HDR mode. There it is here. It's HDR, and even here you'll see that it's an HDR. It's a standard, but it's HDR. It's a HDR, but it's a under the user standard mode, but it's HDR. There it is, right there. And even if I, for example, let's say I want to go to different inputs here, and I come back, and you will see that the HDR, there it is. HDR will be presented right there. There's the HDR. Now let's go to Jaws really quick. I want to play Jaws really quick. Jaws really looks great with the HDR compression here, like especially right here. This is all in HDR compression. Okay, it may not look as great as your 4K UHD Blu-ray, but nonetheless, look right now, for example, this is pretty good, man. This is pretty good for an old movie, and it looks great in HDR. Again, HDR can be used on pretty much any resolution. Doesn't matter what type of resolution you're using. As long as you got that HDR metadata, it will work. Alright, so now we're here checking the Batman. This is the Batman. It's HDR compression right here on HBOmax. And even here you can see how it switches to that HDR compression, and it looks much better. Here we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna switch back and forth just to show you that it is HDR. See HDR, there's HDR right there. And I'll do this again. I'll do this multiple times, and I'll come back and you'll see it. There it is, HDR. Clearly you can see it right there. It shows up. So the compression of HDR is always there. So what you're gonna need, you are going to need obviously one of those devices right here, which is right over here. This thing right here, that's what you're gonna need. That's what I'm using. And you're gonna need obviously this controller as well that comes with it. And quite honestly, it looks pretty good, especially on the OLED. For a 1080p source resolution that's being upscaled to 4K with HDR, I want you to picture this. If you have OLED, picture this. You are using 1080p source, and that 1080p source, it's being upscaled to 4K with high dynamic range on top of the OLED panel that you already have. So alright, so well, there you have it, guys. Like I said, you know, if you have AT&T TV, I think the HBOmax will be more feasible for you. It's just gonna look better. It's just gonna look better every which way you look at it. It's just gonna you're just gonna benefit. This is why I recommend OLED. OLED already has a great panel, but on top of that great panel, you also have HDR and a great upscaling chip, and you will benefit. You will definitely benefit with the AT&T TV. So if you really want to have the best possible quality from HBOmax currently, I would say AT&T TV is your best bet. You will enjoy it better with the AT&T TV. So anyway, there you have it. That's as much as I can show you. I don't even know if this will be eligible to be shown. So, well, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.